welcome to Tuesdays on Tybee. I'm Nikki, the program specialist at Burton, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite creatures, the living fossil, aka Limulus Polyphemus, aka the Atlantic horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crabs are referred to as living fossils because they predate dinosaurs for 200 million years. Horseshoe crabs got their name because of their rounded shape, just like a horseshoe that you would toss. There are some common misconceptions with horseshoe crabs. So first of all, I'd like to point out that horseshoe crabs are actually more closely related to spiders than they are to crabs. Secondly, the Atlantic horseshoe crab, its scientific name is Limulus Polyphemus. So the second part of that name, scientists named it Polyphemus after the Cyclops in Greek mythology, who had one eye. In reality, our Atlantic horseshoe crab has 10 eyes. The last thing I'd like to point out is that a lot of people think that horseshoe crab tails have barbs or stingers at the end of it, and that's not true. Our horseshoe crabs do not have stingers on the end of their tails. Their tails are really cool and really important to them, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later when we meet our horseshoe crab riptide. So we do have a live horseshoe crab we're going to show you from our discovery teams. His name is Riptide, and he's a super cool creature. This is Riptide. I hope you guys can see the underneath of a horseshoe crab. We can tell he's a male because he's got these two boxing gloves. Let's see if we can get good. Oh, there we go. He's got two boxing gloves on either side of his limbs. He's got this really cool muscle called a telson. So if you find a horseshoe crab in the wild, you never want to pick them up by their tail. Their tail has this telson right here. It's the muscle that helps them turn themselves back over if they get flipped belly side up like this right now in a wave or something. So if he was like this, he could use his telson to turn himself over and carry on with his day. Horseshoe crabs also are super cool, not only because people thought they were cyclops, but they have blue blood, which has copper in it. Humans have red blood, which has iron in it. Within the horseshoe crab blood, there is hemocyanin, and hemocyanin carries O2 or oxygen throughout the horseshoe crab's body, and this hemocyanin also contains copper. Copper, we mentioned, gives the blood its blue coloration. Hemocyanin also contains amebocytes, which are important for horseshoe crabs and humans. First, they're important for horseshoe crabs because they act as defenders of pathogens. So just like how humans have white blood cells, horseshoe crabs have amebocytes. And amebocytes are important to humans because we use them to make LAL. LAL stands for Limulus Amoebocyte Lysate, and it's important because it is used to detect endotoxins in biomedical equipment. Horseshoe crabs lay eggs, and it's not just one egg, it's thousands of eggs. And they deposit these eggs in sandy beaches, which is where our good friend the red knot, a migratory bird, likes to go and feast. This is a really important step for the red knot because these eggs fuel its migration, which can be thousands of miles. So really, really important that these eggs are laid for the red knot and other migratory birds. Then we've got our juvenile horseshoe crabs, and they like to hang out on the floor of sandy tidal flats. Then after being a juvenile for a little bit, you eventually grow up, you become an adult, and the adults like to head to the ocean. Adults will hang out in the ocean until late spring and the summer, and then they will head back to those sandy beaches to spawn and lay the eggs. And then our cycle starts over. Through protecting habitats, managing populations, research, education, and volunteering, we can manage the horseshoe crab population and make sure they stay around a little bit longer. Behind me is not a horseshoe crab, but our Loggerhead Sea Turtle. And loggerheads are known to follow horseshoe crabs up the Atlantic coast to feed on them. So they're not only important for migratory birds as a food source, but also important for our sea turtles. Our Loggerhead Sea Turtle, Belle, she wanted to tell all of her fans out there, thank you for watching Tuesdays on Tide. She misses you, she hopes you're well, and hope you've been enjoying our series From the Mountains to the Sea.